Hello, Bridget Hughes here from WSUP Radio. I'm here with Kayla Bradley, Campus Programming and Relations Event Planner. She and her fellow CPR members have been working endlessly to prepare for this year's Homecoming Week's festivities. The theme of this year's homecoming is Where in the World is UWP? How did you choose this theme?
We actually didn't choose it. We had, last semester, we had a committee of a bunch of students come give some really cool ideas about what the theme was. Once we got them approved, we opened it up to all the students on campus, and they voted for which theme that they liked best. It's definitely for people's interpretation. People are doing, like, Carmen Sandiego. I know some groups are doing, like, Where the Heart Is, like, where is you?
Right. What events are you most excited for?
I'm really excited. Well, I'm excited for all of homecoming, but my favorite events of all time are variety show, mainly because I'm running it this year, and definitely Yell. Just seeing so many students together and cheering for one event, it's so cool.
As a freshman myself, is it wise to get involved and sign up for activities?
Oh yeah, my freshman year, I definitely signed up for all of homecoming. Totally overbooked myself, but it was well worth it. Yeah, and it gave me the opportunity to meet a lot of new people. It was so cool.
Where would I go to sign up?
If you live in a res hall, you can sign up in your residence hall. If you're joining a Greek organization, you can always do that. Also, if you're in a club and they signed up for homecoming, you can also sign up for within your individual club.
Speaking of the residence halls, I hear they get pretty competitive.
Oh, you don't even know. For the past couple of years, there have been about a couple of residence halls that have been competitive with each other, and I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to stay the same this year, but they get very competitive with each other.
Do you know who won last year?
Brockert Hall won last year.
Hall.
Yep.
Who's going to win this year?
Oh, gosh, I don't even know. I want Pickard to win.
What about Dobson?
Dobson, I love Dobson. I love all res halls, but Dobson and Brockert, I think they're going to have that rivalry this year. But I definitely want one of the underdogs. I really want Pickard to win this year.
Who tends to be consistently every year? Who tends to be the most competitive
Dobson
player?
Hall.
Dobson.
No doubt. Dobson Hall.
Dobson brings it, so that's the person to beat.
Oh yeah, every year Dobson's the one to beat.
And then Pickard usually.
Pickard is a good contender, but they always kind of like slip through the cracks. But I really want them to like pull up the reins this year and just kind of get
So we're
ahead.
counting on the circle this year.
Yep. Definitely want the circle to win. Yep.
Walk us through the Pioneer Week. Tell us what that all entails.
Okay. Whole homecoming week.
Let's start it off.
Sunday, we got kickball. The most competitive thing I think I've ever seen in my life. It starts with men, women from noon to 3 p.m. out in the stadium. And then we do the banner ceremony. So show off your creative side, get those banners in. You get to represent the theme and represent what your hall is all about, or your organization, I should say. And that starts at 4 in the crossing. And then we continue with co-ed kickball. So this is majority like clubs and residence halls. That's from 5:30 until about 10 o'clock. And that gets really heated. It's so competitive. And then food fight also begins around 4 p.m., I believe. And that's where people can put in donations for the local food pantry. So not only is it competitive throughout all organizations, but we're also helping out other people.
So it's not an actual food fight?
It's not an actual food fight. No. Everybody asks me, do we actually get to throw food at people? No. But you can...
Throw it in the box.
Exactly. There you go. You can throw it in the box.
That works.
And then Monday night, we're doing a new thing. It's called Minute to Win It. And basically, if you've seen the show with Guy Fieri, you do little games and stuff in a minute to win it. And then we time them to see who has the fastest time. And then we also throw a little trivia in there to get the brains going. So that's going to be fun.
What are some of the prizes for the Minute to Win It?
Prizes we don't really have for that. It's just, it goes with the point system.
The points?
Yep.
Okay.
So you get, like, the
Earn
faster
points.
you do stuff, the more points you get, kind of. This year we're doing something different. We're working with the RHA and NRHH with the blood drive because it happens through the same week as homecoming. So we're using the blood drive as a way for homecoming points. So you can sign up with your organization to either volunteer or give blood. Another great way to be competitive and also give back to other people. You can volunteer for those who are giving blood, or you can actually give blood yourself if you're not afraid of needles or anything like I am. And then the variety show is always a favorite. Organizations come to show off. They're cool. I know when we did the 90s theme, a bunch of guys did Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and that was my favorite of all time. They all
And is that Monday?
Tuesday, actually.
Okay, the variety show's on Tuesday.
Yep, the blood drive and variety show are on Tuesday. And then Wednesday we're doing tug of war. So it's where people can go down to the rugby fields and get all muddy and pull rope. It's so much fun. They just can't hug me. I will not let them hug me. And then Thursday we're doing an obstacle course. And this is kind of cool because we're actually getting an inflatable obstacle course. So they can go through the obstacle course. They can like army crawl through mud. It's going to be a blast. And then right after that is the Yell Like Hell and the coronation, where we announce the homecoming king and queen for this year. So get those votes in.
When can people start voting for homecoming?
I believe people can start voting either Sunday night or Monday. I'm pretty sure it's Monday night because usually we have the Yell on Wednesday night, so we open it up Sunday. But since it's a day later because of the volleyball schedule, I think we're opening it up Monday night.
Where do you vote at?
You vote online at
Okay.
UW-Platt, and we'll have I believe it's uwplatt.edu/vote, and then you can vote for homecoming king and queen there.
How many people are on the court this year?
There are 5 men and 5 women, so
Okay.
it's really competitive this year. I really like the selection that they have. It's a pretty wide selection. Like people from Greek organizations and Brez halls and different clubs and that. It's really kind of cool. And then Friday we have house decks. So if you have a house, a residence hall, or I believe 91 FM's using this very station.
Probably, yeah.
So if you have that, decorate it, use it for the theme, do whatever you want with it. It's a lot of fun. I know a lot of them are making like a giant M to put in front of everywhere, and then Saturday is the parade judging, or the float judging, I should say, for the parade. And then the parade starts the game as usual. And then we're doing the M lighting at 9:00 that night. And there are going to be fireworks after that. And that's always great because it's like the final wrap up. It's not competitive or anything, but it's just a great way for people to come back and be like, hey, this is our school. This is what we're all about. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So for going back to the house decorating, because is that new?
No, that's been here for as long as I've been here. So, but yeah.
Hopefully more people will get involved with it then this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And are you awarded points for that or?
Mm-hmm. Yep. What happens is we have a select few number of judges and they drive around to like the residence halls and then wherever the addresses are located, and they go in and they actually create a skit for whatever their theme is. Like I know last year when I lived in Pickard, we did a giant TV set because our theme was Pickard Simmons. So we did a giant TV set. We actually had somebody in there as Richard Simmons, and so we would act out. So it was kind of like an exercise thing on TV. And I know years past they've done like Power Rangers, but this year I'm really excited to see them because with 90s you can kind of like pick something from the 90s, like Backstreet Boys or Britney Spears, that kind of stuff. But this is really up to people's imagination, their interpretation of what the theme is. So I'm really excited to see what people think about for this.
I know WSUP, we're doing Canada.
Okay.
Like we actually picked a location.
Yeah.
So it's going to be exciting to see how different people interpret it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm really excited. I know one group is doing United Nations or something like that for one of their skits. So I'm pretty excited to see what people are going to think up for this one in particular. Like for the variety show, I'm always excited just because I like seeing people get up on stage and make fools of themselves like I do all the time. But with house decorations, it's really kind of cool to see like team building get together to actually create something like this.
For the variety show, like, where's that at?
That's going to be in the Center for the Arts in the Broadbeck Concert Hall. How it's going to work this year, though, is because there's a limited amount of seats. I mean, usually we have it in Velzy Commons, but we can't do that this year because of the blood drive. So we moved it to the CFA. So each organization gets a set number of tickets. Okay. And those who have tickets can actually get into the CFA.
If you want to come to the variety show, but you're not part of a club, is the best way to go up to and approach a club and see if they have any extra tickets?
They can either do that or they can come to the Pioneer Involvement Center, to the Campus Programming and Relations office and talk to me, and then I can find a way to get somebody a ticket.
My parents are coming up for this weekend, or for the homecoming weekend. So is there anything planned for parents and alumni?
I know alumni, they have some kind of tent for themselves for the parade. I'm not exactly sure. I know, like, basically homecoming weekend for the game and all that, it's very family friendly. I know before, like, throughout the week, it's kind of like a, competitive mess and bloodshed and all that kind of stuff. But I think everything that we have planned for Saturday is very family friendly, and there's a lot of stuff for them to do.
Make sure you get them up early to start with the parade. Platteville parades throw quite a production.
Yep.
Those streets are filled.
They have multiple like school bands, marching bands. They've got like
So the whole community's involved?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. It's a great way to bring together not only the campus but the community as well.
And what time is that parade starting for everyone?
I believe 10 a.m.
10 a.m. right on Main Street.
Yep.
So that's actually not too bad.
Yeah, wake up at 9. Get yourself ready, head downtown.
Usually the parades start way earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Way
why
earlier.
I never see them. This is the only parade I've actually ever seen in my life. So
So it's convenient for everybody.
Definitely.
Starting at 10 a.m. So if you'd like, you participate. For floats, like, what are you guys looking for?
just how it best represents the theme and how it best represents your organization. I mean, it's not as competitive, but you can still get points for it. But it's just a great way to show how your organization comes together to create something that you just thought of. That's how great it is. Not going off any blueprints or anything like that. Just thinking of what's coming out of your head and then going with it. That's what I like about it the most.
What was the best float you've ever seen yet in the parade, you think?
Best float. I can't remember which year. I think it was my sophomore year, but I definitely saw Kappa Alpha Sigma, and they were pieing one of their members while the float was going. She was sitting in a chair, and they were pieing her with whipped cream pies. It was so funny. I loved it. I think that's probably the best one I've seen.
So they get pretty crazy.
Yeah, they do get really crazy.
Oh my gosh, I'm really excited. I know we can't reveal our float idea yet. One, because we're working on a couple things, and two, I just don't want anyone else to steal our idea.
Right. No, that's a good idea.
WSUP's keeping it under wraps right now, we'll say.
Well, that's good. That's good, because I know a lot of them are like, who's doing this? Who's doing that? Because, it's so broad that people are afraid that somebody else is going to steal their idea.
And I think this is also like a homecoming. I think a lot of clubs should look at it as like a really great kickoff to the year, because you really get a chance to put your club out there, one. 2, have the whole club work together. And 3, it's just you get to be competitive, and I think that can really get a lot of stuff going. So I think it's a great idea, and I encourage a lot of people to have their clubs really get involved, just to start off the year right.
Yeah, and a lot of times it can be a little scary, because if somebody's a freshman and they're in this new club, they're like, oh, well, I'm going to be this nice person. But then the competitive aspect comes out. Like when I first did Porter Hall my freshman year, I was so competitive that people were afraid. Like, it got bad. For kickball, it got really bad. But, it's also a great way for people to learn who you are and all that kind of stuff.
Get to know new people.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, for homecoming, is there any like specific regulations you guys are throwing out there and trying to make people aware of?
There are rules for every single event, and the rules kind of they vary for each event. Like for kickball and tug, no cleats, all that kind of stuff. But it's really important that we get it out there, that people actually read the rules, because we will enforce them. I mean, I don't want to be that kind of person that's like, you didn't do that, or you were supposed to do this, or that kind of stuff, you're disqualified. I don't want to be that person. But if it comes to the point where people are just doing totally inappropriate stuff and just like disrespecting the school or disrespecting their organization or disrespecting all of homecoming, then just it's fun. You don't have to make things bad for everybody else. So it's just a fun way. But if you actually like follow the rules and read the rules, that's all we ask.
So follow rules, be respectful.
Basically, yeah.
And have fun.
And have fun, exactly. You can't not have fun at homecoming.
Right. Is there any specific slogans or anything like that you guys are disqualifying, or?
We are highly we don't want anything with drug paraphernalia, alcohol paraphernalia, all that kind of stuff. But as long as you keep it, I don't want to say G rated, as long as you keep it PG rated, everything should be fine. But just it's all about common sense too.
Right.
It's the same with Facebook. If you don't want your parents to see it, why would you post it? If you don't want us to see it, why would you do it?
Okay.
That kind of thing. So it's just using your common sense and your good judgment. I mean, you're in college. You should know.
And just remember that people in the community do like to get involved and bring some of their younger children to the events.
Yep.
So with the drug paraphernalia and alcohol references, use your judgment.
Yep, exactly.
So homecoming starts this Sunday, right?
And we're kicking it off with some kickball.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite events. Porter Hall took it 2 years in a row when I was a freshman and sophomore, so I'm really excited what they're going to do. And I'm also really excited with, who's actually going to get out there and show some team spirit.
And when will you announce the overall winner?
The overall winner will announce at the football game on Saturday.
Do they win anything special, or is it a surprise?
I know that they win a plaque, and then if you win for your category, so like if Res Halls win, Greeks win, then they get a plaque. If you win overall for Spirit, then you get your name on a trophy that hangs out in the pick, but you get your name on it, and
it's worth it.
You get bragging rights.
Yeah.
So.
Like we said earlier, homecoming starts this Sunday. The theme is Where in the World is UWP? I would like to thank Kayla Bradley from CPR for coming in and telling us about this year's homecoming's festivities. I know as a freshman here at Platteville, I am very excited to kick off my first homecoming. I hope all of you are excited too, and I hope to see you all around next week for the homecoming activities.